Hello and welcome back. I am Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana, and you are watching Marksman TV. Today I have another tabletop review and comparison for you. We will be taking a look at the new FN 503 and the Sig P365. We're going to start off with an unboxing and then move through a point-by-point comparison of the two. So if you are considering purchasing one of these as your next concealed carry option, you might have a better idea of which one will work better for you. Anyway, if that all sounds interesting to you, please stick around. That's coming up now. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with an unboxing, starting here with the FN 503. It does come in a cardboard box with this zippable sleeve. Go ahead and unzip that. Now inside here is going to be the firearm. Now it does come with two magazines. It comes with one 8-round extended magazine, which is inserted here. And it comes with a 6-round magazine here with a floor plate. If we move back over into the box, warranty and instruction information, gun safety lock, and that's basically it. Okay, taking a look at the P365, it does come in a hard case. Go ahead and open that up. Now inside here is the firearm. It does come with one 10-round mag inserted with a little pinky extension on it. It also comes with another 10-round magazine which has a flat floor plate, warranty and instruction information, and that's basically it. Okay, now I know the first question I'm going to get is why did I choose the P365 SAS over a standard model for this comparison? The answer to that is basically with everything going on right now, it's really hard to get inventory. This is the only P365 I could get. I didn't want to wait on this video for, another 2, 4, 6 weeks, however long it was going to take. So if you could just use your imagination, imagine this with its original sights and original controls, and I will point those out along the way so you have a better idea. But I do agree the standard model P365 would have been better for comparison, but the SAS is what we have to go with, so we're going to move forward with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the specs, starting here with the 503. So the overall length is 5.9 inches. On the 365 it is 5.75, so just a hair shorter on the 365. Now taking a look at the height, the 503 is 4.6 inches tall. That's if we have the shorter magazine inserted. Now this longer magazine is about an extra inch in length, so you are at 5.6 inches with the extended magazine inserted. The height over here on the 365 SAS version is going to be 3 3/4. Now, if you do have the traditional 365 with the normal sights, you are going to be about 4 inches in total. If we have, this is going to be a little complicated, the SAS with the extended mag, we are at 4 inches. If we have the flush base plate magazine, the other one that comes in the box, you are shaving about 1/4 inch off of that, which puts you back down at 3 1/4 inches. I'm sorry, 3 3/4 inches. The barrel length on both are 3.1 inches. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the weight, starting with the 503. We are at 1 pound, 4.7 ounces. The 365, 1 pound, 1.7, so we are 3 ounces lighter on the P365, so quite a noticeable difference. Okay, now bringing in the slide of the P365, you do have the Sig Nitron finish. You have front and rear slide serrations. There's your external extractor right there. Now up at the top, you're going to see there are little vent ports. You're not going to get that on the standard model 365. You are going to have a dovetailed front sight here with a dovetailed rear sight. It'll be in the 3-dot configuration. The SAS version, as you see, it has no front sight. It has the bullseye sights. It's a little fiber optic ring in a circle, so if you like that, that's what that is for you. It keeps a lower profile, which keeps the overall height down. There is a loaded chamber indicator at the top, and then all your roll markings and everything here on this side as well. Okay, the 503 slide here, very simple in comparison. You have rear slide serrations. Your sights up at the top are metal and are in a 3-dot configuration. They are dovetailed, so both are windage adjustable, not elevation adjustable, external extractor, and a loaded chamber indicator at the top. Remember, this type of loaded chamber indicator, the same one the 365 has, you are going to need some sort of light source. It's kind of a porthole so you can see the brass sort of shining back at you there. Your extractor should extrude just a little bit with a round in the chamber, so you should be able to feel that as well. Okay, let's take a look at the trigger pull weight, starting here with the 503. 5 pounds, 1.2 ounces. And the 365. 6 pounds, 6 ounces. So we are a little over a pound heavier on the weight of the 365 versus the 503. Taking a look at the trigger on the 503, it is fully metal. You are going to notice that there is a little trigger safety here, and that is really the only safety feature on this pistol. Go ahead and giving it a little bit of a pull. There's our travel there. It kind of had a little bit of resistance here and then back a little bit into the wall. Right there. From there we pull, a little bit of creep. More creep. There's the brake. Reset. Travel, travel. Resets there, a little long in my opinion. You have more take up after the reset. A little bit of creep there. Reset. Long travel. More creep. More creep. There's the brake. So definitely nice and light, but some definite creep there and a little bit of a long reset. Let's look at the P365. Now there is no trigger safety. It is metal. Pulling here, there's your travel right into a definitive wall. A little bit of travel right there into a wall. Go ahead and pull. A little creep there. More creep. More creep. Brake. See that reset? Quicker reset in my opinion. So the creep on both is about the same. The reset on the 365 is noticeably shorter right there. It's definitely heavier to pull through. Like we notice it's about a pound heavier. Definitely feel that. So initial travel to that. So initial travel here to that wall. The transition from the initial pull to the wall is more noticeable. It's like you kind of have on the 503 a little bit of sort of a resistance point which you push through and then you hit the wall. This is straight from kind of the take up to the wall, and then the creep is about the same, a little bit heavier on the brake with a quicker reset. So both have their own positives, both have their own negatives. Pretty kind of a toss-up for me, but a heavier pull here. But anyway, just calling it as I see it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the disassembly of the two, starting here with the 503. Now, I'm going to remove the magazine and check that I am clear, and we are. So I'm going to bring this in for you to get a little bit of a better picture of. Right there is a tiny little notch in the slide, okay? You're going to want to align that here because this is your cross pin. That is also your slide stop, but this works to keep all your barrel and slide and everything together. So we're going to align that and then pull this out, and I'll go ahead and show you that now. So align that pin there, and it's going to be hard for you guys to see, but you can see a corresponding sort of half moon shape of the pin through the little slit here in the frame and slide. So I'm going to go ahead and align those. It's incredibly tight. There we go. And then I can remove that. Now from this point, slide and frame are locked. Got to pull the trigger and then hold the trigger like that, and then I can go ahead and bring the slide off the frame. From this point, it's pretty consistent with most other firearms. You have a sort of a captive or double guide rod and spring system there. Barrel pops right out, and that is your, sorry, I was right off camera there. That is your field strip. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the disassembly of the 365. Now, the standard model 365 and the SAS are a little bit different. The SAS has an embedded control, which is basically has a little notch here. You have to use a tool like a screwdriver or the rim of a casing to be able to turn that to unlock. A standard model 365 or a 365 XL actually has a lever, so you do not need a tool, but the process is the same. Also, the takedown lever is an embedded control. SAS stands for SIG anti-snag, so the whole purpose of this was to get rid of snag points, which is why the controls are a little bit different. But other than having to use a tool, which I'm about to do to turn that, on a standard 365 you would just rotate it with the lever by hand, really simple. Going ahead and disassembling, I'm going to start by removing the magazine and checking that I'm clear, and I am. Go ahead and lock back the slide, and then I have to use a screwdriver, like I said, or any other type of tool with a that I can use to turn this. I'm going to be careful not to scratch this. I'm just going to turn it like that, release the slide, and then push the slide off of the frame. From there, it is a double guide rod and spring system, just like on the 503. Pull that out, and that is field stripped. So let's look at the frame, starting with the 503. It is fully polymer in construction. You do have a magazine release here, which can be removed and flipped over to the right-hand side of the firearm, making this an ambidextrous control. Other than that, the only other control on the firearm is your takedown lever, which is of course out of the gun right now because that is also your cross pin. There is no other type of control like a safety, grip safety, anything like that. Of course, your safety is right here up on the trigger. No finger grooves or interchangeable back straps. You do have nice stippling here on the back strap and here on the front strap as well. The texturing here on the grip panels, the size of the panels, very much like a soft grit sandpaper, not overly aggressive, which I personally like. Trigger guard is a really nice large size, so if you do live in any type of colder climate, you should be able to get a moderate sized glove in here, so no problem there. No type of rail spacing up here at the front. Very simple and basic design on the frame. All of your internal components are metal in construction where they need to be, guide rails, ejector, and all that. Now, if we take a look at how the magazines fit and feel inside the firearm with your 8-round magazine inserted, you do have plenty of real estate here on your grip. Actually, as you guys might know, I have very sort of small to medium-sized hands, and that basically just fits my hand perfectly. So if your hands are any larger than mine, you might find that a little bit uncomfortable. Now, one thing that I'm not too thrilled about is if you put in this magazine with the little pinky extension. Again, I have pretty moderate sized hands, small to medium sized hands, so when I grip this, my hand wants to do one of two things. It wants to force my pinky in a really, really weird position way below this little rest point, or I need to cram it up in there, and I can get it on there, but my fingers here feel really tight and crowded, and I can only imagine with recoil, because my knuckle is right here on the trigger guard, this isn't going to feel good. If you have hands that are only slightly larger or a little bit larger than mine, which most of you probably do, your finger is definitely going to be forced off the bottom there, and then you're sort of in this weird position. If they had just left the little extension here off and left it flush, then it would be more like a Glock where it can just sort of rest right on the edge of the bottom of the magazine, which in my opinion would be better. So just keep that in mind. Now the frame here on the P365 is very simple as well. There really are no controls other than your takedown lever and your slide stop, which again, these are going to be larger controls on the standard model P365. You can pull up a picture and you'll see the difference there. All of your internal components are metal. I do like any type of use of a full-length guide rail, just extra reinforcement, stronger in my opinion. You do have a rail section here for any type of SIG accessories. Trigger guard's a little bit smaller than on the 503, so if you do have any type of moderate to larger size gloves, you're probably going to have trouble getting them in that trigger guard. No type of finger groups here at the front. The stippling and texturing on the front straps, back straps, and side plates are exactly the same, sort of like a light grit sandpaper is how they feel, so very comfortable to me. But getting that grip on there, again, comfortable enough. If I have the little pinky extended magazine inserted, actually, this is way more comfortable to me, which is interesting because the grip feels so much shorter. But it does feel comfortable. Kind of, there is a weird gap right here in my palm, but this is sort of a micro 9, so that's to be expected. But it's okay if the size is a little bit smaller, as long as there's no weird contact points. And I just felt like on the 503 with that pinky extended mag, there's just weird contact point with my pinky, which I don't experience here on the 365. But of course, your mileage may vary, especially if you have larger hands. I could see how that might force your pinky underneath, and then you'll have the same problem I'm having on the 503. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the barrels. They are both 3.1 inches. Now, couple differences you're going to find here. The 503 does have a polished feed ramp, which you're not going to get on the 365. Just going to make feeding a little bit more reliable. Also, the front of the 503 barrel is target crowned and recessed, which you're not going to get here on the 365. Of course, there are little vents here at the top of the 365 SAS barrel, which you're not going to have on a standard model 365 or on a 365 XL. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this up with some takeaways. Okay, so first of all, price point. The 503 is going to come in at about the high 4s to the low 5s. So you're going to find these between about $480 and about $530, $550, somewhere in there. The 365s, standard models, you're going to find pretty consistently around $500. The SAS and the XLs are going to be upwards of about $550 to $570, so somewhere in there. So again, SAS and XL is going to be a little bit on the higher side. for all intents and purposes, if we just look at the basic Model 365, they are going to be very comparable in price. So let's take a look at what you're going to get for more or less the same price. Starting off with the build, construction, quality, I think it's there on both. I can't really give credit to one over the other. They're both solid firearms built by very reputable companies, so there's really nothing wrong there. Triggers on both, again, there are some advantages in the 503, which is a lighter trigger pull, but you do have a little bit less creep and a quicker reset on the 365. So where you do get some advantage in one, you do lose on the other and vice versa. So again, that's kind of a toss-up to me, and when it comes to that, I would just recommend picking them both up, putting them both in your hand and seeing which trigger you like more. If you like the idea of a trigger safety, the 503 definitely has that option that you're not getting on the 365. There is no manual safety on this version. Most of the P365s do not have any type of safety. However, if a safety is crucial to you, they do make a 365 with a safety, so there is that option. Capacity-wise, there's a stunning difference. Okay, we do have a pistol here in the 503, which is larger basically in all dimensions and is heavier by about 3 ounces, I think we found. And that's unloaded. Of course, now here on the P365, we are going to have 10 rounds of ammunition. Over here, we're going to have 8 in the extended or 6 in the flush, more flush-ish magazine, the one with the little pinky extension. When you take those extra, if we're talking about 2 or 4 rounds, you might make up that difference in weight. So loaded, they're probably going to be pretty close. I know we only weighed them unloaded, but consider them kind of close in weight. But we do have a smaller footprint here on the 365. As you can see, it's not hugely different, but again, when it comes to concealed carry, ounces can be measured in pounds and inches can be measured in feet. So when you're carrying the thing on you all day, every day, those extra ounces, those extra inches are going to add up and you are going to feel it. So when it comes to concealed carry, size is really important. Over here on the 365, we are getting a smaller package and we are getting a higher capacity. That's a combination that's going to be really hard to beat unless you are the type of person who has maybe really large hands, you want a larger firearm. The barrel length is the same, so you're going to get the same pretty much muzzle energy out of both. Accuracy should be pretty consistent. Now, the one thing that this review falls short of, obviously, just like all my reviews, is I have not test fired them. So again, if you're on the fence about either, I would definitely try and rent one at a range. Get some rounds down range between the two and see which one prints better for you. Of course, like a car or like a pair of shoes, everybody's going to react differently to different products. So don't just take my word for it. Definitely get them both in your hand and try them out. There are other products on the market that are very similar to this in terms of size, weight, and balance. And a lot of those products are older that have come out within the past 2, 3, 4 years. That would be the Glock 43, the LC9 series, LC9S series from Ruger, the CCP, and then the Walther PPS series. So there are a lot of sort of single stack, more limited capacity firearms in this realm. The whole concept here is sort of pioneered by Sig in the 365 with a 1.5 stack, higher capacity and a smaller package. Is still relatively new. I think firearms like this, in my opinion, are going to fall by the wayside when things like this and then now the Hellcat from Springfield are sort of going to be taking the spotlight. At least in my store, what I see most people leaning towards are packages like this. Now, sort of the idea of the more antiquated, and I'm going to go ahead and call it an antiquated design of the single stack 9mm is still popular and prevalent in more cost-effective options like the Smith & Wesson Shield, but a brand new product at about a $500 price point with a capacity of 6 to 8 rounds in this size and weight, I think is going to be a little bit of a tough sell, but we'll let the market see where that lands. It is still a brand new product, and I'll be excited to see where that ends up. Well, guys, I will leave you there. If you have any questions, please let me know by leaving those down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by leaving a like, and also consider subscribing to my channel so you can see more content like this as I post it. Also, for other type of vlog type content, consider subscribing to me over on Marksman Radio. It's a new channel I just started up. Not really much content over there right now, but hopefully in the future we'll get some vlogs and podcasts up. But anyway, guys, I will leave you there. I am Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana. You are watching Marksman TV, and I will see you next time.